So when it comes to an Emraan Hashmi film, people have very high expectations from two things. One is the kissing scenes and second is the music of the film. So Emraan, what do you have to say
Don't give
firstly about the kissing scenes of the film?
Well, they won't be let down in this film. There are scenes. I find very juvenile to kind of break down films into scenes. Oh, this film has so many number of scenes. It probably was in fashion 5-10 years back when it just started off because of the bold quotient and newness. But right now, everyone is doing it, and intimacy has become a norm on screen. So it's something that's there, but we don't like to throw too much attention on it.
There are no spirits in this house! I know your house is haunted, Shaina.
Emraan, talking about music of the film, this is a very common question which everybody wants to know, that does Emraan Hashmi choose a film with good music or it happens to him naturally?
No, there have been very rare instances where I have put in specific songs into films. For example, a film like my second film, Murder, Kaho Na Kaho was a track that my wife gave to them. It's a track that we heard in a nightclub, Tamalli Mark. And that's when I sent it to Butts, and then they made it into Kaho Na Kaho in Murder.
I love that track
still. So we kind of love that track and we gave it, and that's one of the few instances that we've given stuff.
Kaho na kaho, ye aankein bolti hain, o sanam, o mere sanam, mohabbat ke safar mein ye sahara hai, wafa ke sahilon ka ye
Which is your all-time favorite track from Raaz Reboot and then generally?
Lo Maan Liya is from Raaz, is my favorite track. There's so many in my films. It's very tough to choose that one track because every song, at least initially when I started off in 7 years, it's very tough to pick up one track. I would pick up one very unconventional track actually, which I know people will not point at that, but it's from Shanghai, Dua. That is a very well written track.
जो भेजी थी दुआ वो जाके आसमां से यूं टकरा गई के आ गई है लौट के सदा।
Since आपके ट्रेलर ने बहुत लोगों को डराया है, तो आप रियल लाइफ में किससे डरती हैं?
मुझे अंधेरे से बहुत डर लगता है, बहुत ज़्यादा। और ऑफ कोर्स एक्चुअली जो हमारी मूवी है, लाइक इमरान सेड, इट्स मोर ऑन द साइकोलॉजिकल लेवल. एज आई हैव सीन, आई बिलोंग टू अ वेरी रेगुलर सिंपल मिडिल क्लास फैमिली एंड आई हैव tons and tons of cousins, most of them married. I know a lot of people, and I think the biggest fear when people move abroad is akelapan. I think that kind of takes a toll on you, and I think the fear that we're playing with here in this particular movie has a lot to do with that. Of course, you have your horror elements, you have all of it, but I think we're dealing more with the fact of people being lonely or that taking a toll in their heads. So I'm hoping कि जो लोग देखने जाएं वो एक कनेक्ट भी कर पाएँ, क्योंकि ये बहुत लोगों के साथ होता है. बॉम्बे जैसे शहर में ये बहुत होता है कि इतनी भीड़ में भी आपको अकेलापन लगता है. तो आई एम होपिंग दैट द ऑडियंस एंड आई नो फॉर अ फैक्ट दैट दे विल बी एबल टू कनेक्ट विद ऑल 3 कैरेक्टर्स, क्योंकि ऑल 3 आर वेरी स्ट्रॉन्ग इन दैट सेंस.
अकेली हो गई हूँ मैं, बहुत अकेली.
कोई राज है जो रेहान तुमसे छुपा रहा है. He always wanted Shaina back in his life और उसे पाने के लिए ये सब किया उसने. शाइना, कुछ छुपा रही हो मुझसे?
अगर यही सवाल मैं तुमसे पूछूं तो?
मैं तुम्हारी शादी को तोड़ना नहीं चाहता हूँ. I want to help you.
बदला वो स्पिरिट नहीं तुम लेना चाहते हो मुझसे.
Imran, since you have been with the Raaz franchisee for the last 4 films,
yes,
being an AD in the first one and actor in the rest of the 3, so I want to know how has Raaz as a series evolved over the years?
Every passing part, it was very important for the makers to understand that this is what the audience has been exposed to, and this is what we can give them that is new and novel. So the first one, I would say, not really easy per se, but you would say that it was the easiest of the lot, because the cinema audience, I mean the audience has not really seen a horror for the longest time, and then Raaz 1 came and broke that. So you could do anything with that film. If it was a good film, it was going to work, and Raaz 1 was a good film. The challenge started after that. Raaz 2 outdoing a film like Raaz 1, again giving the audience something new. Raaz 3 became even more difficult because you started having other films from Hollywood that were releasing here. So how could we give them a fresh experience with that? That's why you put in things like 3D. It was a very different experience in cinema halls for a horror film. Then I think Raaz 4 is, I guess, the complete evolution of the series, of taking it out of the country, still keeping the basics of the film, of the relationships, the emotions, the love story, the music intact, but amping up the horror in a way people have never seen before.